You're now listening to the Contemporary Equity Podcast with your host, Garen. On this episode, we're going to dive into the Jay-Z art collection with an estimated worth of $70 million. I'll say that again. The Jay-Z art collection with an estimated worth of $70 million. To put that in perspective, Jay-Z's entire music catalog is worth the same amount, $70 million. Rock Nation has an estimated worth of $75 million. Tidal, the music streaming service, has an estimated worth of $100 million. Now, according to Forbes, Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z, has reached billionaire status. Now, what we're going to do is go through some of the artists that Jay-Z collects and has been collecting for the past 20 plus years. Because when collecting art, the artist is very important. So pay attention to this list. There are going to be some names that you may know and also names that you may not have heard before. So listen up. Here we go. Gerard Richter, Jasper Johns, Richard Prince, Hebrew Brantley, Shepard Fairey, Laurie Simmons, George Condo, Francis Bacon, David Hammonds, Ed Rushka, Takashi Murakami, Pablo Picasso, and of course, Basquiat. Next, we're going to move into what is blue chip art and why do blue chip artists matter when it comes to collecting and investing. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. I mentioned blue chip artists in Jay-Z's art collection, and I want to describe what blue chip means. Blue chip in finance is used to describe the largest and oldest companies whose names are widely recognized and universally accepted. For example, Apple, Google, Microsoft. These are blue chip companies. They have a position in the marketplace and they have solidified that position with exceptional sales over a range of years. So blue chip artists are household names such as Picasso, Basquiat, Matisse, and others. Jay-Z's collection has a mix of blue chip and established artists and amassing to $70 million. I want to go through some more facts and figures to get you whatever your level is, whatever your position is currently, whether you're already a collector of art, whether you're thinking about collecting art, wherever you are, because art is a valuable asset class. And I'm using the Jay-Z art collection as an example of someone who is a billionaire, who has a track record of being in an industry for over 20 years and understands the value of investing in art. We're going to break the work down into genres going back to 1250 AD. Old masters are artists born from 1250 to 1820. And then you have impressionists and modern artists, that's 1821 to 1910. Okay. And then post-war artists are 1911 to 1944. Contemporary artists are 1945 to 1974. And then you have the latest and greatest ultra contemporary. That's artists born 1974 until. All right. So we're going to break this down because this Jay-Z art collection has artists from these genres. Pablo Picasso, one of the most well-known artists. Just in 2018 alone, he had work sell for $700 $74.3 million just in 2018 alone. So he is one of the most bankable artists out there right now, considered one of the best blue chip artists. If you have a certain level of assurance that if you have an original Picasso, that is going to be worth something for a very long time. If you have a Picasso in your collection, you have it on your records as an asset, you can pass down that work for generations to come, and it's going to be worth a significant amount of money, and it's going to appreciate in value. Pablo Picasso lived from 1881 to 1973. And again, his work sold for just last year $747.3 million. Another impressionist artist, Francis Bacon. In 2018, he had work selling for $126.6 million just last year. These are artists that are the most bankable. It's name recognition. Okay. When these artists' names come up, people are interested. Why? Because they know that this artist's work is worth something currently, and it will be worth more in the future. So they're going to auction, they're collecting these pieces, and they're holding on to them because they know the worth, they know the value of it. Okay. Gerard Richter is a post-war artist, the genre including Andy Warhol, David Hockney, and Jackson Pollock. Last year, 2018, Gerard Richter sold $143 million worth of artwork. Okay. Why am I mentioning this? These are artists that Jay-Z collects, and in his collection, he has made strategic moves to select works from these different artists. So let's close out this episode with Basquiat. Basquiat is a contemporary artist which in 2018 sold 90 pieces for a total of $254 million. Now, of course, Basquiat is no longer with us, and there's a reason why deceased artists' work is worth more or perceived as worth more than a living artist. A deceased artist's work has a finite amount. There will never be another work produced by that artist. They'll never have another appearance at a gallery or tour where that artist is able to interact with the community. So there is a perceived value of that work for whoever has collected that work in the past, that work is now more valuable than the work being currently produced by artists. Okay, so again, $254 million worth of work sold just in the past year in 2018 alone, which is more than triple the next ranking contemporary artist, Christopher Wool, which sold $81.9 million in auction in 2018. So Jay-Z, again, I can't stress enough how he is strategically collecting pieces from well-known artists, from blue chip artists, and adding it to his collection that is now worth an estimated $70 million. And it's been happening over the past 20 years. So Jay-Z is still a young man and will continue to collect art, and the value of that art will continue to grow. This is something that he can pass on in his estate to his children, along with his music catalog, along with Rock Nation, along with Tidal, the music streaming service, along with the champagne that he sells, along with all the other assets that he and his wife have acquired over their lives. If you're not a collector already, consider investing art, because people that are prominent in our society understand and realize that collecting art is important and it holds value, not just for today, but to pass on that value, to pass on wealth to future generations through artwork. Invest in art, invest in artists. The information in this podcast was compiled from online databases such as Artsy, ArtPrice, and ArtNet. The databases were verified against auction catalogs to ensure accurate reporting, detailed analysis, and clear interpretation.